Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it. Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here, and it is 8:30 a.m. EST, and we're looking at silver right now. We did just have some data come out. We're going to take a look at that as well. It's pushing the markets around a little bit, but silver is staying pretty calm regarding that news. Now, silver is pushing towards $90, though. Actually hit a high overnight at $86. And I know everybody was thinking it's the end and the silver was a pump and dump. And I was telling people, guys, this probably is not a pump and dump. I mean, we saw a silver pump and dump more or less back right after 2008. In fact, it was like 2011, and people panicked into silver because of the great financial crisis, and that's understandable. But that got pushed right back down and ended up, around, I think, like $12, $15 after hitting about 57. That's all from memory. We could look it up. But the move up this time has to do with just global demand for silver. And we watched it last year in 2025 go from, I think, let's look at the low, $30. Let's see here. June of 2025, April. We're going there. I hear an alarm going off. Okay. $28, it seems. That was in January 2025. So, $28 all the way up to $121. I mean, that's just massive. That's huge. Good morning from West Virginia. Unfluenced. Hey, good to hear from you, man. Good to hear from you. It's been a minute. Be good to catch up and see how you're doing. I hope you found that castle. I know you guys wanted a castle. Did you guys get a castle? Let me know. So, man, someone's alarm is going off. It's bugging the daylights out of me. But somebody's going to have to let it go. We're doing a live show. Can't let that get interrupted. I think silver's going to crawl back up. I think it's simple as that. So I did the update, the weekly update last night. Okay. And when I did it, I told everybody this. Silver got pushed down a second time. CME raised their margin requirements. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by somebody's alarm going off, and I'm going to find it, throw it through the window. And it got pushed down to like $64, right? So long story short, the CME is where derivatives are. And when you raise margin requirements, without getting too into the like technical details of what that means, it means it's a lot more expensive to buy contracts for silver, right? And so the paper market still has a lot of control over silver price, and people had to exit their positions. They had to sell their longs, basically, which effectively pushed price down because it looked like a big sell. Well, price is already almost back up to $90. And I can tell you right now, as soon as price breaks $92 on silver and stays above that for, I'd say a few hours, but I think the real answer is a few days. Silver stays above 92 for like a few days. The probability is pretty high that that's it. The probability is pretty high that, at that point, you're going to see silver just go ahead and retake the highs. It does have a few landmarks to get past. It's got to get past 100, but once it's above 92, that's pretty much it. We're going to see if that happens. I don't know if it's going to happen this week. We are seeing it pull back a little bit right now, down to $83. If I zoom in a little bit, might have to do with the news that just came out. Yeah, it's just coming down based on that news. I'm seeing that the dollar got stronger, and it is pushing things around, but that's kind of typical. If the news was extremely strong, then that might make sense. So let's go ahead and move to that screen. God, I wish I knew what that alarm was because it's driving me batshit insane. All right, so Thursday, but today's Wednesday, the 11th. Okay, so dollar strong news. It's the non-farm employment change. So this is probably going to be fake. This is probably going to get revised. And this is probably done on purpose to probably push silver down, I'm guessing. I don't really know. But to say that non-farm employment change was like basically double what they thought it was going to be. So they thought we were going to add 66,000 jobs. It says we added 130. Well, guess what? Almost all of these types of data have been revised down in coming, like maybe next month or next few weeks. You can expect this number to go, oh, we made a mistake and it's really like, 45,000 instead of 130,000. So what this has done here is effectively, I don't know if the target for this BS, I'm pretty sure it's BS, was to try to push silver down because I know they're panicking. They don't want silver to go up so quick. I don't know if that's the target or not, but what that's going to do is strong and it's going to push all dollar denominated assets down. You're just seeing silver come down. Now, I bet you we don't see that big of a movement. It wasn't, I mean, it was a big, if it's going to push silver around, that's going to be relatively powerful, but it's still above $80 and it's still above 83 and it's above this consolidation that we see like right here, right there. So I think we're probably not going to see that big of a movement on here. We'll see about it. All right. We'll have to see how that goes. To look at the algos, though, everything is pretty bullish. It's going to probably crawl up until it blasts up. And gold's given us the clue because the manipulation with gold wasn't quite as strong. You should see my predictions there. But I'm going to delete those predictions, not because I'm not proud of them or that I think they're wrong. They're just getting in the way of the chart. But you can see what I think is going to happen. It's either, I thought this would happen. I thought it would just kind of slide up kind of more slowly and make its way up, but it looks like it's actually going to plow up a lot stronger. But what we're seeing here is that second bottom on gold was a higher low than the first bottom, right? Go back to silver. You'll notice that silver got pushed to a lower low and it's more volatile. I don't know if the COMEX only raised margin requirements on silver and not gold. That's what I don't know. I could ask the question. Let me ask. Did the COMEX raise margin requirements last week on all precious metals or just on silver? We'll see what Gemini says. I would use Grok, but I got some issues with X right now. So it says, actually, it was both. Silver took a much bigger hit. Change fact, margin requirement. Here's what they did though. Silver margin was 15%. Let me flash to this screen so you can see it. It's worth looking at. Silver margin was at 15, moved up to 18. It was raised to 20%. Gold margin was 8, raised to 9, 12.5%. So they actually raised the silver margin by 20%. So by percent basis, it was almost double. They raised it about 80% more, right? So the silver margin was raised a lot more, which makes a lot of sense because that's going to make it about 80% harder that's probably not good math, but it's going to make it a lot harder to hold on to silver positions when you raise the margin requirements 80% more. So this is probably why silver took a bigger hit than gold. Be that as it may, though, silver is coming back nicely. And when you wash out all of the leverage, whatever happens afterwards is going to be more organic, more based on supply and demand. Of course, they could simply bring the leverage back, lower those margin requirements once more. But I don't see any news that they've done that. Maybe we'll flash back to Gemini and ask them, did they bring the margin requirements back down? What are the average margin requirements for precious metals over the past 12 months? Oh, coming back down. Wow. Interesting. Whatever just happened in the news is pushing the charts around. We'll look at that in a second. No, they have not brought it back down. Current margin status 8 and 9. Gold averaged about 4 to 5%, 6 to 8%. Okay, so yeah. So gold's in January started at 5% for gold, 9% for silver. They pushed it up to 9% for gold and 18%. So it looks like over that period, they've actually doubled both, but that last margin hike was a lot stronger for silver. right? So, all right, back to the charts. We have something going on. I don't know. It's something's wild's going on in the charts right now. This is why I don't trade news. So let me show you guys something, and then we'll go to the private live lab. This is important to see. I'm going to go to let's look at USD JPY. It's happening everywhere, but we'll look at USD JPY because it's more pronounced. And for those of you who are here to ask about Bitcoin, it just looks not good. I don't see anything different to what I talked about yesterday in the market report, right? So if you want the market report, go into the it's free. Go into the description and I'll click on the link. You get your free algo. When you do that, you click on the link to get the free algo. You're going to allow me to send you that market report weekly. And if you want that report, without doing all that, just put a note in the, put a note in the comments. Just let me know and we'll figure it out. But look at this. This is pretty crazy. I'm going to zoom in. This is the USD JPY. And there's some madness going on in the charts right now because price made that big crazy move and then it got crushed right back down and now it's coming back up. But this is the 1 minute chart, guys. This is like, so trying to trade this type of shit, I mean, impossible. I don't know what just happened in the news because there's no new data that came out, right? So the charts are just being messed with right now. People went long and then they got shaken off and went short. And then the shorts got shaken off and now it's headed back up. And so they're just messing with the traders right now. They're just putting them out, or they're just taking out their stops, what they're doing. And this is why I don't trade news. I let this kind of crap happen. And then I move on once the charts actually become readable. That's how I do it. So, that's one thing you'll know if you ever work with me over at Algo Factory. I don't trade the news. And that's why right here. So let's I'm just looking at the private live lab questions here. Okay, that's nothing new there. So I'm gonna go ahead and move over to the private live lab. I don't see anything terribly special with crypto right now. I think it's on its way down. You'll get some pop-ups here and there because that's just how things work. But in the end, I think the bull market's done for crypto, and I think a lot of things are going to calm down. I mean, crypto's certainly calmed down over time. Each cycle gets weaker and weaker. But one thing about each cycle is that it falls 80%-ish from the top every time so far. Every cycle, there haven't been that many, but every cycle that's had a peak, every 4-year cycle peak falls 80%, and that pushes price down to below 30K. So you just have to understand that about Bitcoin. And there's a good chance it's just going to continue down from here. So nothing special to talk about. Official target right now is 52. So, I could put on a short. I'm not going to necessarily do that until the algos line up for that. But we could see price head down to 52K for Bitcoin. So just a little nugget right there. Went about 5 minutes over here in the private live lab. Go to that description, click the algo, subscribe. We get a lot of people who watch this and they just don't subscribe, and I'm not sure why. So I get it. I mean, I'm a YouTube guy. I've been watching YouTube for a very long time. I don't know, 20 years, 10 years, however long. As long as it's been around. And it's easy to kind of just watch a show and not hit that thumbs up or subscribe button. Hit them both. Do us a favor. And that's that. So we'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. EST. And don't forget,
join us or die.